Hi there, guys. Is this music a little loud today? Let me know. Hi, Neva. Am I saying your name right, Neva? I'm good, how are you? Is this music in the background too loud? Is it too distracting, or should I turn it down? Hi, Renee. How are you? Happy almost Valentine's Day, guys. Neva. Okay, I'm just making sure because the 3 was there. It was kind of throwing me off at first. I thought it was like Nevea, and then I was like, no, it's definitely not. Good, good. I just got done work, so let me fix my camera a little bit. I don't know how I feel about this camera stand. Hi, Ra. How are you guys? Again, does this music sound too loud? Should I turn it down? What do you guys think? I think I might have turned it up a little louder than I usually do, but I'm trying to prevent you guys from maybe hearing my son in the background. He's with his dad again, but he's definitely a boy, so like you'll hear him screaming, growling like a dinosaur because he's really into dinosaurs, and hopefully he won't hear me and my voice as much. Music sounds good. Okay, well, let me know if I need to turn it down, guys. Hi, Nicole. How are you? I hope I did it right with the whole mod thing. So, fingers crossed, guys. Fingers crossed that I figured something out right. I remember watching your videos for some time. I was just receiving messages about you. Messages? As in what? Perfect, Nicole. Guys, I did it. You should be so proud. Oh. I thought you meant like someone was direct message. You knew about me. I was gonna say, who's got beef? And clairvoyance. Okay, yeah, so I don't have as I have more clairvoyance is where I get most of my information. But I feel like lately I've had my claircognizance. I can never say it right. That seems to have been the trend a little lately, but my clairvoyance is where I get like my specific info. Yeah, I was like a little nervous. I was like, who's messaging you about me? What did I do? Clairvoyance while sleeping. Really? I thought, I don't know if this will help you, but I thought clairvoyance was more about like seeing images, like I do close my eyes, but you have to realize that the clairvoyance is like in your third eye. And once I started really realizing that, I started seeing it a lot better outside of like sleep or dreams or anything like that, because I do a lot of dreaming. I actually do a lot of predicting with my dreams. Anyone who knows me on a personal level, I'll usually predict my friends and family if they're going to be telling me like they're pregnant or the gender of their children. Usually it comes up in my dreams. The night before my sister told me was the first time, and I knew she was pregnant. And then she FaceTimed me that morning, and I literally answered. I was like, do not tell me you're pregnant right now. And she was like, that's exactly what I'm doing. But otherwise, a medium once told me that it's kind of like if you close your eyes and you pretend like you're walking to the fridge, you're opening the fridge, you're grabbing orange juice out of the fridge, you're shutting the fridge, you're taking it to the counter, and you're opening your lid. Wherever that image is in your head, that's where your third eye is, and that is how you kind of can see clairvoyance. So it's kind of like memories that aren't your own memories. Because remember, you put your personal thoughts, feelings, and emotions to the side so that spirit can kind of step through and talk through you. And ever since they told me that, and that's also a way to like strengthen your clairvoyance as well, is if you keep like doing things like that, like saying, okay, I'm going to strengthen a little bit, and then you do like a minor like, oh, grabbing the orange juice out of the fridge, blah blah blah, and then you can keep practicing like, okay, I want to see the details of the orange juice on the bottle, I want to see the details of my hands going for the fridge, the details of, you know, the cup, the design of the cup. Like, you go for details like that, and it's kind of also a way to kind of exercise and strengthen your clairvoyance as well. So once they told me that, it was game over. I loved it. And, you know, it's something that you can do when you're sitting in the car. Obviously not when you're driving. You know, when you're laying in bed at night and you just want to kind of strengthen your clairvoyance a little bit, and you think it's a better way for you to reach spirit, go ahead and strengthen it that way. Yeah, I know, it was so cool. And I was like, wow, like, I wonder who she thought of it. I mean, it's cool. And I feel as though after that point, my clairvoyance started to really pick up. So yeah, clairaudience, I mean, it's sometimes with me, but definitely clairvoyance and claircognizance for me. Such a hard word to say. Thank you to everyone who is slowly coming in. Once we get a good batch of people, we can start. I will do a reading. For those who have never been here before, hello. Thank you for joining. Before anyone asks, I do not do spirit-led readings. I do basically spirit draw. I don't know what you would even call it that I do, guys. I don't even know. Come up with a name if you figure it out. I kind of have every single one of you will comment just the relationship of the person that you want to talk to, and whoever I feel drawn towards is who we will go with for the reading. It's usually my way of spirit telling me who needs to hear the reading and who is, you know, kind of destined to get a reading here. Hi, Renee, first time here. Hi, Rita. Welcome, guys. Welcome. I do ask if you guys do not put any details in the chat for two reasons. First reason, there are a lot of scammers out here who watch these lives when people do live readings. And I'm told that they will actually message you and pretend like they know information because they saw you putting your information in here, and they'll reach out to you and be like, hey, I just got a vision and your cousin Larry wants to speak with you. And they're going to try and fish you out that way. So don't put any of your personal details in the chat. Just the relationship of the person that you want to speak to, so it kind of gets things a little faster. It also helps me from, you know, if spirit wants to validate that they're here with you and they want to tell me their name or they want to tell me something specific and you had already put it in the chat, that kind of, you know, is a disservice to you because your loved one could have validated that it was them and it could have been a really cool moment for the two of you, but I can't do it anymore because you've already put it in the chat. So kind of stick with like yes, no's, general information, unless I specifically ask you. Don't put any specifics in the chat. So, you know, that's just to protect you guys. All right, guys. So everyone go ahead, start putting the relationship of the person that you would like a reading from. Do it as many times as TikTok allows you to. And whoever I am drawn towards is who spirit wants me to go with. So you guys can go ahead. Might take me a bit. Hey, Billy, are you still here? Billy, spelled with I-E. I love that spelling, actually. Hi, Billy. And I believe, let me go back if I can. I believe you wanted to speak with Dad. I can't go back, too many comments. Did you want to speak with Dad? Yes? Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, Billy, have you ever had a reading done by a medium before? Or at least watched my lives before or any other medium live? Just kind of know how it works. No, I've watched, not had. Okay. Did you want to stay in the comments, or did you want to go up in the little guest box and talk? Whatever is easiest for you, whatever is going to be, you know, you're more comfortable with. I'm glad someone actually taught me about the whole guest box thing. I think it's really cool. Fine with whatever. Okay, I'm gonna add you if I can. There's so many people in here, it might be hard for me to find you. Okay. Go ahead and ask to be a guest, and I will approve it because it is not letting me add you for some reason. Again, I'm still trying to figure out how TikTok works, guys. So, it's like, it's gonna be a button that says like request to be a guest or something. Yeah, and if anyone knows how I can add her, I usually can, but for some reason I can't find your name, Billy. I don't know if it's because your profile settings or anything like that. Oh, I got a notification. There we go. Perfect. Hi, Billy.
How do I do this?
Oh, I hear a baby.
Yes.
Totally fine. Listen, the only reason you can't hear my son in the background is one, because it hasn't happened yet. It will. That's why I have the music playing in the background. And two, he's with his dad for once.
Yeah.
His dad has been watching him for me, so that I can do this, which has been really great. Shout out to him if he's on here. I'm not entirely sure. But, oh, I love to hear the sounds anyway. Okay, so basically I'm going to try and get as much evidence as I can currently about Dad to make sure that it's him who's stepping through. So I'll be silent for a little bit. I'll get some information, and then once we realize if we're with Dad or not, then we can continue with the reading, okay?
Okay.
All right.
No. You're right, all the doors.
I don't even know what that noise was. Someone's car. Sounds awful. All right, I do have a few things coming through. But I do want to ask though, because it's funny. Was your first off, would your dad believe in something like this?
Yes.
Okay. Was he a very reserved person? To where it was like it was kind of hard. Like if you knew him, he would like kind of speak to you. I gotta turn this down. He would speak to you, but I feel as though he didn't sit there and kind of blab like to just anybody or like talk about his personal stuff with just anybody.
Right.
Okay. Because he's given me things, but like it's so slow. Like he's given me a good amount because I gave him some time, but it's like hard kind of getting things out of him. And a lot of times it's because they'll show me like that kind of their personality, because they kind of like to show their personality through me. If you've seen my readings, it's kind of what happens. But so I did get some things for your dad. First and foremost, he's making me feel like my chest is like burning. One or two things. Either he was having chest related issues with lung or heart, or he was a smoker.
Both.
Okay, because my next question was he a smoker? It says smoke. Because I did get the hint of smoke. But did he try? I don't know if he tried to smoke or someone was actively trying to get him to stop smoking, because he's kind of putting a stop up to the smoke. But like I feel as though it was like a struggle, which kind of vague because most people do. But I feel as though he was starting to have issues because of the smoking. Would that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. He's also showing me, did he also have some circulatory issues as well?
Yes.
Okay. He brought up a couple of other things for me as well. Would you say his personality, I don't know why, but he's kind of giving me this personality like, kind of like a man of habit, like a creature of habit kind of a thing, to where it's like he kind of did like the same things a lot.
Yes.
He kind of shows me even like certain even TV shows he would watch over and over kind of a thing, or a specific type. I feel as though he was kind of, yeah. Did you say yeah?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, because he said like TV shows on repeat, and that's what I wrote down, TV shows on repeat. So I feel as though there was like a really big significance to this. But he is also talking about that he was also a creature of habit, to where like his kind of his wardrobe as well, to where like he kind of didn't stem away from like one type of style for him.
Right.
He did mention clothes to me, but I do feel as though someone still has his clothing, or his clothing was kept in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Okay, do you have his clothes?
I do.
Okay. He wants to acknowledge that, and he loves he's kind of talking about also like the smell of his clothes too. So like the smell of him like kind of brings you comfort, which anyone who has someone's clothes as well can feel that way as well.
Definitely.
He was also he brought two more things up. He brought up the word country. So I don't know if he was into country, or you're into country, something about country. And he then showed me, when it came to clothes, he also showed me a hat. So I don't know if he was one to wear hats. But he did bring up hat as well.
Yeah. Both of us lived in the country, so.
Okay. 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 So do you think we are with Dad before I move forward?
I do.
I do too. All right, so I am going to continue with the reading now. He also brought up, he's bringing up now, I don't know if he worked a lot or he just wasn't home a lot, but I feel as though he talks about how, he wishes he was more present. I feel like this is also, on a mental, emotional way as well, if that makes sense. Because he's kind of showing me how like he just wasn't he just kind of talks about how he wasn't as active as he wishes he was, And it's kind of like how, you know, when spirits go and step to the other side, they kind of get like a replay of their life. They kind of get to see all the things they coulda, shoulda, woulda done. When they get to the other side, as far as spirit has told me, is that they kind of don't get peace on the other side until, you know, they make amends with the people here and, you know, kind of get like that forgiveness type of thing. And I feel as though that's why some negative spirits who people clearly can't, you know, forgive them are still stuck in that, you know, part of the world with no peace. So he's not showing me any of that. Like, he's not like, he wasn't like a inactive father in that sense. It feels more on the lines of either he wasn't home because he couldn't be because he was always working, or there was some sort of distance, whether it was just, you know, emotional in that type of way. Would you be able to take any of that?
Yes.
Okay. And he wants to apologize for that. I feel as though it's more on the lines to where, like, you know, if he had known that, you know, he was that way, he would definitely have changed it. So it's not like he did something and he's asking for an apology for that kind of a way. He's kind of just doing it because, you know, when they get to the other side, they kind of see, and he sees that, you know, he could have been more active than he was. But I feel as though a lot of that has to do with him being a creature of habit as well. Was he not someone, he talks about how, like, he wasn't like an adventure type person. Like, I feel as though he wouldn't sit there and, you know, want to like go out and do new things kind of a thing. He was kind of a homebody in that sense. Would that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. I feel as though he was also just a quiet person in general, and I feel as though he kind of liked that about himself. He liked the calmness. He was very independent in that way.
Yes.
Kind of stuck to himself. But I feel as though you still had like a decent relationship with him, on the sense to where I feel like you guys had a lot of similarities.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out what he's telling me here. Did he at one point, was he hospitalized towards the end, and may have even had to receive oxygen? Because he's
Yes.
showing me oxygen and an oxygen cannula in the nose.
Yes.
Okay. He's also talking about how did he avoid his health, and kind of not keep up with certain things. Like, I feel as though he's talking about how he just wasn't always the one to go to the doctor when he needed to, or he would kind of brush things off to the side when there was issues. It's kind of like he waited to the last possible second to kind of go and, you know, seek care, if that makes sense.
Right.
Okay. He kind of talks about how he was kind of one of those people who kind of they don't know, like, it's kind of like they don't think that they're going to die kind of a thing. It's just like, it's not like on their mind in that sense, to where it's like they just don't think that it's going to happen, or they just keep, like, you know, procrastinating things on that end.
Yep.
And I feel as though just like he's kind of showing me like that, like he just started it was like he would be at a standstill to where he wasn't healthy, but it wasn't like dire, and then it was just like boom, cliff, like
Yes.
boom, just everything started falling apart, and it was just like he couldn't come back up. And it was like no matter how hard they tried, you tried, you know, doctors tried, like it was just a downhill from there.
Yep.
And I feel as though he brings a lot of stress around this as well. Because because I feel as though like it was really also he's talking about it wasn't the greatest timing either. And I feel as though he's talking about how he wasn't even on the older side. He definitely passed earlier than most, which to me means he just wasn't, old. So he definitely died before, old age. He was definitely on the younger side. He's kind of, I don't know if this is his personality, but he kind of says how like he could kick himself in the ASS for not doing things quicker and kind of taking things seriously, because I feel like he didn't take things seriously in this sense. But I also feel as though he just kind of had a slight fear of the medical world and like the hospital world kind of a thing. He just didn't like going, if that makes sense too.
Yes.
But he's also talking about he's talking about in the ear, which is usually my symbolism to where someone was telling him that he needed to go, or someone was telling him you need to go get checked out, you need to go to the doctor, you need to figure this out, you need to take care of yourself. So would this make sense for you as well?
Yes.
Okay. But I feel as though he talks about how stubborn he is, and that there's nothing anyone else could have done, because if he doesn't want to do something, he's not going to do it, regardless if someone's telling him to do so or not.
Yes.
He's very stubborn. So he kind of says like it's to my own default. Okay. I feel as though he's talking about I feel as though he was more on the spiritual side of things.
Yes.
Because he kind of like brings up like, he was kind of bringing up like, the like religion aspect, but for me it seems as though he's talking about how he's more on like a spiritual side.
Yes.
Because I feel as though your dad really wasn't a follower. I feel as though he's kind of talking about how like it was hard to convince him certain things, and he had his own mindset for things, but he had his beliefs, but he was also he's talking about how like he was very open-minded too. And I think he's talking about, I don't know if this makes sense, but he's being very specific right here, that he had not acknowledged that there are things in this world that people may not believe, but like he was a firm believer that there are things that are like unknown, and he loved like believing in the unknown.
Yes.
This is really funny too. Would he also, okay, there's a lot of laughter about this. Would he also like kind of be a person, like if you told him aliens would be real, like he would be so for aliens too?
Yes, definitely.
Because he's talking about aliens, and I've never had that come up in a reading before, but he showed me like a whole like alien and space, and was showing me stars and
Very much sci-fi.
Oh, I can see, and I think that's also, he's kind of showing that could even be involved in the TV thing too.
Definitely 100%.
He's funny though. I feel like he's very funny, and he's kind of one of those people that are like quiet, but like once you got to know them, like, they're funny. I feel like he was also a person that was like hard to stay mad at too, because like he's kind of talking about how like he was a stubborn person, and sometimes, it was a pain in the ASS to like even get to know him, or to get him to do things, or like, just be a person. Get out of your shell, get out of your head, get out of your butt kind of a thing. But he said at the end of the day, once you did, he was funny, he was good, it was nice to get to know him and stuff. And I feel as though he was like that his entire life.
Yes.
I feel as though you have some similarities with him though. Did he butt heads with like your mother?
Yes, that was, yeah. Yep.
because he's talking about that. Um, I don't know. So it seems to me like he is someone who says like he would never talk bad on someone. Um, but like he kind of says there was like some funny aspects to it as well, to where it's like he's kind of saying like that damn woman. But like I don't know if that's just something he specifically says. But like I feel as though, you know, he still is on the ends to where like he still gives respect because like he's, you know, your mother, and there's definitely love there. Obviously, or you wouldn't be here.
Right.
But I definitely feel like they were very yin and yang in a sense, to
Yes.
where like it was like he's talking about, he's like it was like pulling teeth trying to get him to do anything.
Yes.
And I think it's because he had the whole routine. He was stubborn headed, and he was like, he was a simple man and just wanted to live a simple life. But like, you know, he apologizes for that. It's kind of like he says like he didn't know any better. And I feel as though his childhood has a lot to do with that as well. I also feel like he had some issues with people in general. I don't know if he had some type of bullying growing up, or just kind of hard with friends kind of a thing on a social setting. But I think that kind of made him the introvert that he is.
Right.
And I feel like for him, it was like a big trust thing with people. He kind of, you know, was very big on like who he could trust kind of a thing. He's very funny though. He's very funny.
Yes.
He's like a peculiar man.
Yes.
Okay. He's also showing me the letter T as well. So I don't know if that would tie in for him or anyone around you. All letters that I write on all of your notes will be in circles. And was there other stuff besides the aliens? Like, was he into space as well?
Yes, definitely.
Because he's showing me the planets now. And he's showing me like the stars, but he's showing me like the dots. Was he into like astrology?
Yes. Yep.
Because he's showing me the dots, like the astrology signs kind of dots. He's not showing me specific ones, but he was just showing me like how the dots kind of lay out and you like connect the dot. That's like astrology. Yeah, I think he would get giddy about this stuff too.
Yes, definitely.
Like he was very Sheldon about this. Like there was a very big nerdy side to him about it. And I feel as though did you also like connect to him in this way because of these things? Like were you able to try and like, is this like a good conversation with him?
Yes.
Like that's how you were able to?
Yes.
And I feel as though he's kind of talking about, so I don't know, this might be a funny thing. He's kind of talking about, I don't know if she was really into those things or if she was just trying to get me to talk and trying to like get close to me. Because he's kind of making fun of himself, because I feel as though, you know, he knows what he's into isn't, you know, for everybody.
Right.
But I feel as though you did enjoy it.
I did.
I also feel as though he didn't pass too long ago.
Right.
Was there was there some question about how he wanted things to go? Like how he wanted, you know, funeral wise, you know, afterlife wise, whether cremated or whether buried, something where it was just like he didn't have like a lot of end of plan, you know, things.
Yes.
To where like it wasn't really talked about too much. So there was kind of confusion on what to do and like kind of worried about how things should go.
Yes.
He talks about how none of that mattered. It would, you know, he is happy with how it went. He's happy that he was respected in the way he was. He actually talks about how, I don't know if this is just the humor in him, or if he really just doesn't think people like him. But he said a lot more people were there for him than he thought there was going to
Right.
be.
Yep.
I feel as though he talks about how it was small and intimate. I don't think it was even much, just because you guys knew he wouldn't really want something big and extravagant.
Right.
But I feel as though he couldn't have planned it better himself.
Good to know.
I also feel, is there some, was someone not there and they wanted to be, or wish they were there for, towards the end for him?
Yes.
Because he's kind of showing that, like, I think towards the end things were really bad, and I don't even think he was himself. And he's kind of talking about how, like, he's like, I was barely there himself. He was already kind of gone. And he
Right.
talks about how he already had his loved ones kind of take him before you guys even knew that he had passed, if that makes sense. It's like his soul left his body before his body actually died here on Earth.
That makes entire sense to me.
Because I feel as though, like, was it like just staring at like a random body? Like, it just was like, he just wasn't there. And it's almost as if his loved ones on the other side kind of took him, so he wasn't around for that. He was ready to leave his body before his body was ready to leave this earth, if that makes sense.
Yes.
I feel as though towards the end he just gave up wholeheartedly. He was tired of fighting for it, and I feel as though he found more peace in, being on the other side than being in the body that was failing him.
Yeah.
And I think it was really hard for him to be in a body to where he was no longer independent. He had no control over his own body, and I think that control and independence was very important for him as a person. So when he couldn't have that anymore, it was just like, what else? What am I fighting for here?
Yeah.
My body's not going to be the same. Even if I make it out of here, he's not going to live the life in the body that he would want to
He
live.
wanted. Yes.
He's kind of talking about how he would be the kind of person that would say, like, unplug me.
Yes.
He does not like talking about deep stuff. He's like got a lot of anxiety around this.
That makes sense to me.
He's also showing me the number 7. So numbers for me can always pertain to the 7th of the month of July, or it could be a specific amount of years, age, things like that. So I'm going to also circle the number 7 for you as well.
Yep.
Would this number 7 make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Did he also, I don't know why, but he just showed me a gun. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on here. I said gum.
Yep.
Gum. So I don't know if he owned, or someone was thinking of owning, or something, or like something about carrying. I'm just gonna draw it. It was an image of one. What else is he talking about here? I feel as though he's talking about how he didn't have too many hobbies, but the hobbies he had were like kind of like not your basic hobbies.
Right. Yep.
He was such a strange character.
Yes.
But he enjoyed things so much. But I think, did he have struggles with his job?
Yes.
I feel as though he really was not happy doing what he was doing. And I feel as though it was kind of more of a job you have to have rather than a job you enjoy.
Yes.
I feel like it took a lot out of him. But I feel as though it would, he's talking about his feet, so I don't know if he was on his feet a lot during his job.
Yes.
And I don't know if he's talking about how he started actually having issues with like his legs, feet, ankles, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And I feel a lot of it has to do with the circulatory issues as well.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. wholeheartedly, he is so grateful for you. He's talking about how he couldn't have had any other daughter because no other human on this earth understands him the way that you do.
I would
And
agree with that.
and I feel as though he talks about how you were the one who was the most patient with him and how he didn't have to question his relationship with you. He never had to question your love for him. I feel as though he had a lot about that to where he always was, questioning who, people's intentions or who liked him, kind of in a sense to where it was like who he was too much for. And I feel as though
Yep.
he felt calm and relaxed in the notion that he didn't have to feel that way with you. And I feel as though he hopes that he made you proud. And he wishes that he was able to do more, but I feel as though in a social sense he really, how do I even say this, socially wasn't equal to most social settings. Would that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Without like putting any diagnoses or anything like that, but I feel as though he really had a lot of anxiety around social settings and people, but for you it was not the case. I feel as though he felt his most comfortable with you, and I feel as though he really did try his best to like get close with you and be the father that you needed, but he does wish he did more, and he apologizes for that, and he knows that you needed more. I think he's also talking about how he's really sorry at the timing of his passing. I feel as though it was really rough on you emotionally.
Yeah.
I also feel like you had a lot of other things going on at the same time. It was just like another shoe to drop. And he talks about how he's sorry about that. But that he loves you so much, and he do you have other stuff of his too that might not even be clothes?
Yes.
Because he's talking about it. Is this something also weird? Because he's kind of talking about like, thank you for saving my, like, he's talking about like something along the lines of someone else would just like throw it out, but like you knew it had meaning or that it was important to him, so you
Yes.
kept it. He says,
Yep.
thank you so much, and this is why, like, you get me, kind of a thing. Like, you get me, you know him so well, and he wouldn't whatever you have. I wish he would show me. I know he, but whatever it is, before I ask him to show me, because that would be cool if he could just tell me. He's glad that you have it and no one else has it. So is this something sort of along the lines of like nerd stuff?
Yeah.
He's kind of showing me to where it's like along the lines. He said he can't really explain too much, but it's kind of like along the lines of like action figures of some sort, but it's not. It's just like it's some type of maybe even plastic printout or something pertaining to like his nerd stuff.
Yep.
Okay. Well, he loves that you have it. And do you keep it on like something?
Yes.
He loves where you have it too, because I think where you have it is either funny or he could just see it. Because I feel as though, do you feel his presence a lot around your house?
I do.
He's around. He also says that he messes with things too. He messes with doors. Are doors kind of weird in your home?
Yes.
He's messing with the doors. And again, he's kind of laughing, and he's giving me the sense that like he loves it because like that was like things that he would love here. You know what I mean?
Right.
But he also earlier, I don't know if you see these often, but if you see butterflies come up often, or
Yes.
come in pairs, or just really random times, that's him visiting you as well. I also feel he's talking about how like you talk out loud too to him.
Yes.
And he's saying that when you were talking to him, he's right there next to you. and he hears everything that you say. And he said it's kind of back in the day when he would sit on his chair and you guys would have a conversation.
Yes.
And he said it makes him feel like he's here again. And he said he just loves watching you grow. He loves watching you kind of, take on the role as a parent. Is one of your children talk about him?
Yes.
Know that he visits your children often. And I feel as though, is this the eldest?
Probably not eldest.
Okay. He's talking about how he often actually talks to them. I also think he's talking about how he visits them in their dreams as well.
Yeah.
So if they talk about their dreams, it's because Dad's visiting them. But I'm going to leave his love and light with you. He was such a good student here. He and it's crazy because in the beginning it was like hard pulling it, but like once I got to go into it, like he started like blabbing.
Yes. Yes.
I hope I might not have wrote everything down because we had such a good conversation and like he just was kind of talking to me in like a conversation. But I will send you a picture of the notes here from the reading. But remember, everyone, guys, my YT page, I can't say it on here, is the same as my TikTok handle here. And I upload all live videos there as well.
Okay.
Okay, so if you need to go there for reference and listen to it, you could watch it. What'd you say, babe?
I said I appreciate this so much more than you know. Of course,
and spirits draw me to whoever needs to hear it. So it's definitely something that you needed to hear. So again, I'm going to leave his love and light with you. Thank you so much. And thank you for coming up in this box. And again, being vulnerable to getting a reading in front of people live on TikTok.
I appreciate you so much.
Absolutely. I hope you have a good night.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
Oh, that was nice. So wholesome. Thank you guys for all the likes, all the follows. I really appreciate it. And I'm really sorry that I can't look at the screen and answer you guys' questions in the chat. My mods are doing an amazing job. I love you guys all. But I get so into a reading out of respect of my sitter and out of respect of spirit. I put all my attention to them. This is why I don't set time limits, especially my private readings. I don't set any time limits because I just don't think it's fair to put time on a conversation with a loved one. I feel as though it's not fair to spirit to kind of cut them off. I wouldn't cut off a person if they were talking here, let alone someone on the other side. I have a lot of respect in that way, because of the spirit world, I'm able to do this, so I, extend my gratitude to them. So when I'm doing all of this, I can't answer questions. So if you're asking me questions and I'm not getting to it or I'm not reading it, I'm not ignoring you. You can always send me a direct message if you have specific questions that my mods aren't able to answer. Or you can send me an email. My email is at Gmail. Same as I use my same TikTok handle for everything. So it's always spirits with sky with 2 Y's. So you guys can always do that as well. But thank you to everyone who is, watching, join in. I just recently also put up, it's a 2-part video of my mediumship journey because so many people of you, were asking me about that and it was taking up too much time explaining it in my live. So I did make 2 videos that you can totally go and watch. Again, all of my readings from live are always posted on my YT page. Private readings are not uploaded on live, just because most times people are asking for private readings because they don't want their, business aired out. And I respect that. I allow my sitters to record if they wish to. Otherwise, does anyone have any other questions? I always take a couple minutes in between each read so that I can kind of disconnect with the previous spirit. Nicole, did you want to come up as a guest? I just got a request from you, unless it was an accident. Hi MK. Yeah, so readings on live are based off of who I am drawn towards. Right now I'm just kind of sitting, catching my breath a little bit, answering some questions while I get ready, and then I'll ask everyone to list the relationship of the person that they want to speak with, and I will see who I am drawn towards. It's kind of who spirit kind of tells me. Oh, thank you so much, Sally. Thank you. Good evening to you as well. Billy, if you're still in here, as I was kind of disconnecting with Dad, he also told me the name Dan. I'm gonna message that to you. So I don't know if that's someone around you with the name Dan, but I'm gonna put that on your page too. Okay. So how was your guys' night, guys? Oh, thank you so much, Molly. Yeah, Billy's dad did great. Yes, guys, send me a follow. They said that there's also a button that you can click and you can get notifications when I go live. I try to make a post before I go on, but sometimes I just jump on spur of the moment. Again, I am a full-time working mom, so I kind of just get on when I can. I try to, but sometimes, you know, as I'm working, I totally forget. Hi, Laura. How long have you been on? But I literally love doing what I do, guys. So go ahead and send me a message if you guys need a private reading, because I know some people don't feel comfortable getting a reading in front of other people. If you don't want to message me on here, you can also send me an email. That's where most times I direct you to anyway when booking with me, which is spiritswithsky with 2 Y's at the end at Gmail. But all right, guys, probably like 2 more minutes and we will go again. Where are you from? I like your accent. I didn't know I had an accent. I'm from Pennsylvania. I'm in Pennsylvania. Do I have an accent, guys? I know that they say like you don't know you have an accent. You have an accent to other people, kind of a thing. You're from PA too. It's so funny because a lot of people, I guess maybe it's the algorithm on TikTok, but oh, that's okay, Nicole. I appreciate anything you can do to help. Again, I didn't even know mods was a thing until you guys, so. But yeah, a lot of people that reach out to me end up being from PA as well, so. It's crazy. Do I talk to animals that have passed? So, yes and no. So I've never directly started a reading just to seek out an animal that has passed, like a pet, loved one. But animals do come through in my readings. So I have, you know, been speaking to spirits on the other side and, you know, people's loved ones, their grandmother, their father, whatever, and an animal, their pet will come through. But, you know, I'm always open to anything. That's what I always say. I can't guarantee anything. Just like, you know, most mediums should never guarantee anything that comes through because we don't do the work, guys. It's spirit doing all of the work. But I could most definitely try to specifically reach out to an animal. But I always say that spirits kind of say what they think you need to hear. A lot of people ask me questions on here and I don't specifically answer questions because I connect with spirit on a deeper level. But I always say that whatever questions you may have when you get a reading, 9 times out of 10, whatever questions you may have do come through and they do come up because spirit knows what you need to hear. But yep, they let you know what you need to know. But okay, guys, go ahead. one of two things. One, post the relationship of the person that you want to speak with in the comments. Two, please do not put any specific information, any details, names, places, that kind of a thing. For two reasons. One, you can get scammed. People are using details from the chat that kind of watch these lives. They'll write down who says what and has, again, I did an example earlier, Brother Larry, and they'll say, hey, I just heard from a Brother Larry who's trying to contact you, book with me, kind of a thing. So it's a disservice to you as well, because if Spirit tries to give me that detail to try and let you know that they are here and that's what they were connecting with you on, you just kind of gave me the answer. Basically, you're giving me the answer key. I think I'll put 2 here if that's okay. Best friend and cat. Yeah, that's fine. Laura, just reach out to me. Just reach out to me. And again, go ahead and comment as fast as you guys want, as much as you want. The faster the comments, usually the better as well. As long as TikTok allows you to do it. I know some people say like sometimes there can be a limit on how many times you can comment. Don't mind me, guys. I gotta restart my background noise. And you want to talk to Granny, right, MK? Is there another name you can give me so I don't have to keep calling you MK? I mean, MK is cool, but... Megan. Okay. Megan. Okay, and did you want to stay in the chat, Megan, or did you want to come up in the little box? Oh, there you are. Nicole's quick with it. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. All right. So I don't know. You didn't even get the. I was gonna say, Nicole. I was sure it was you. You're quick with it. Okay, Megan. And you said you wanted to connect with your grandmother?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Granny. I love that you call her Granny. That's awesome. That's like such a fun name. Okay. All right. Have you ever had a reading done before?
I have.
You have. Okay, so you know the gist of how it works. So I'm going to be silent for a little bit, try to get as much evidence as I can from the spirit that is with me. We'll see if it's Granny. If not, we'll try again. If so, we'll keep going. All right?
Thank you.
All right, going to be silent for a little bit. Again, if y'all ever hear my son in the background, he is well taken care of by my husband. This is why I have the background noise so you can't hear him as much, and maybe he won't hear me because he will bang on the door and start sticking his hands under the door if he hears me. Okay. Okay, she's giving me a lot of information.
He's a talker. I know
Oh, oh. I'm like still writing one thing and she's telling me another. I'm like, slow down. Oof. Now she's sassy with me because I interrupted her. Oops. Okay. How do you want me to write that down, girl? Okay, so I have a Spitfire here.
Yes.
I definitely have an older female. On the physical side, she's not showing me too much. She does make me feel like she did have some back issues of some sort. She's giving me like a sore type of like stiff back. But on other issues, she's really leaning towards like throat. I feel like I have like a ball in my throat. So I don't know if she had issues with clearing, like any type of phlegm in the throat. Otherwise, it's almost as if she doesn't really want to talk about that. She is giving me some random pains here and there, like the arm. So I don't know if she was having also like heart issues as well. Because she's really making me feel a lot of pressure in my arm right here. And, you know, my chest kind of feels like something is like sitting on it. She's also given me a weird sensation in my hands as well. So I don't know if that leads from the circulatory, but I feel as though there's some type of hinder in my circulation because of the heart. But she also told me earlier that she worked with her hands. I feel as though she spent a lot of time in a kitchen. The woman who I have is talking about even like she kind of did it all. She was like homemaker in the sense to where like she did outside. She's talking about like maybe even a garden. She's talking about like even possibly making dough with the hand, like doing like a lot of cooking, baking in that sense. I feel as though she was very proud of her home and how her home was even decorated. I feel as though she was like the business manager of her home. Like how her house worked was like a clock, and it was like she was the manager, she was the boss, and it ran because of how she had it. I feel as though she was very old school. I feel as though she had rules, and those rules were expected to be followed. She's also talking about she kind of talks about how like she even like bragged about her like stuff. She's talking about like, look at this, this is what I have, this is mine, this like, and she had a lot of things and they had a lot of meanings to it. Other things that came through from her is like she would tell you straight. Like she was definitely a person to speak up. I feel as though you do not mess with this woman, you mess with her, you're cut. I feel as though she kind of just got down to business. Like if there's a problem, like let's talk about it now, we're figuring out now, we're not doing this like we're not speaking up BS kind of. And I think that was the sassy part of her because she was very protective. But she also talks about how like the older she got, the more her mouth flew. And I feel as though she really towards the end started giving no crap as to what she said, who heard her, like she didn't care. She also showed me like a cup, and it kind of shows like a tea or like a coffee cup of some sort. I feel as though she has like special kind of cup because she kind of showed me like a cup on like an actual like dish, like a tea dish kind of a thing. So I don't know if she even collected sorts of things like that, like fine china kind of a thing. But she was showing me that. But I do feel as though she was a big like tea or coffee drinker. And she kind of talks about kind of music in a sense. And she flat out kept showing me the number 2. So this could be the 2nd of the month, this could be the month of February, or oftentimes it can also be age or children. So based off of all of that is what I'm talking about, guys. This is what I got in like a matter of like what, a minute or two. Do you think we're with Granny here?
I do.
Okay. All right. All right. Okay, let's see. Gosh, she just made me talk so much. I feel like I ran out of breath. Is there anything from that you can't take?
The coffee or tea drinker, it was, I mean, maybe some tea, but more
Yeah, she
alcohol.
just showed me, again, I just based that off of the teacup on a plate. So
Right.
that's what I'm going to write down as a teacup and the plate. If you could take it, take it. If not, then it wasn't pertaining to the tea or coffee. But again, they show me symbols and I kind of have to guesstimate what they mean by it.
Right.
So it was really just the teacup and plate. Circle it here in case you don't think of it now and it comes up later. She's talking now though. Did she get pretty feisty in the end and even mean?
Yes.
Okay.
Not towards me, but yes.
Okay. I feel as though her mind was kind of going. I'm gonna have to write on the back. She talks a lot. I love it though. I love when they talk a lot because they're giving me information. And I'm not trying to like fish it out of her. She's also shown me that she was very unsteady towards the end. And she's also shown me like shakiness of her hands as well, and like just kind of trembling in general with her body. Would this make sense for her?
Yeah, do you want me to tell you?
Hey, you can now that we've figured out it's Granny, you can tell me everything. Tell me whatever I connected in the first part, now whatever you want.
She had cancer that had spread everywhere, and the shoulder pain and the not being able to breathe was basically her suffocating at the very end. Her death rattle was worse than any other death rattle I've ever heard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she really struggled there in the last 2 weeks of her death.
Okay. I'm so sorry for your loss. And she, I feel as though she kind of talks about how, it's kind of like she was declining for a little while. So it's kind of like people kind of saw it coming, but there was still such a big grief out of it. It was kind of like she was the type of person, I feel as though she was kind of a glue in the family. And so it was like, even though you guys knew that she was going to go, it was still like a shock that it had happened. Yeah. It was more so along the lines of like it's as if like you guys never thought in your wildest dreams that she could, she had the ability to die. It was like, how can she ever die? Like how, like this is Granny we're talking about. Like you could sit there and literally she'd be sitting there telling you she was actively dying, you still wouldn't believe it, kind of a thing. And I feel as though she talks about how like it was a big like punch in like the chest, big punch in the throat. Like it was a really big grieving thing, and it was almost as if she's and I think she's funny in this sense to where she's talking about like I feel as though she kind of will try to lighten the mood with things, and it's almost as if she's saying like, you guys saw this coming, you guys were acting like you didn't know that it was happening. But again, I feel as though for her, especially towards the end, she talks about how, again, she wasn't herself. And I feel as though on a mental standpoint, she's talking about how she really wasn't herself, to where like, it's almost as if doctors, family kind of knew, okay, she's not acting herself. This means that like, we're here, like we're at the end, we're at the finish line here.
She never complained. You did not know that she would not speak her pain or what she was feeling.
Yeah.
It was just written on her face. But she did not want anybody to worry about her. She did not want to go. She wanted to stay because she did not want anybody upset about herself.
Yeah, she's definitely get over here. So she's talking about how she was a woman who presented herself the way she wanted to be looked. And I feel as though she was a big firm believer in dress to impress, dress how you want to, I guess, be looked upon. And I feel as though she was very independent in a way. So then the end was a real struggle for her, that she didn't really have control of things. She talks about how she hated the hospital gowns, hated them with a passion. I feel as though she even expressed this verbally. I feel like she also had a lot of fear with hospitals as well. Because I feel as though, like, her whole life, like, you know, up until old age, I feel like she didn't really have a lot of health issues. And I feel like she took very good care of herself. I feel as though she was always on top of things. And then it was just like things that, you know, kind of just went beyond her control because of her age. I feel as though she was also maybe even predisposed to certain things that she had gotten as well. But otherwise, it was like, you know, she led like a healthy life, so she didn't really have to deal with this kind of thing until it was like until her health happened, and then it was like everything went downhill from there. I also feel as though was she religious?
Yes.
Because she's kind of talking about how like she just kind of put her faith in God. And when they tell me about that, it kind of usually is a meaning to where like it came a point to where she kind of realized that like she had to just do what, you know, she needed to do, and it was kind of like she stopped fighting it. Not that she stopped fighting living, but she stopped fighting the idea that like this isn't happening kind of a thing. And she kind of switched her mode. So instead of kind of being angry about things and even like being in denial of certain aspects, she kind of was just like, you know, she started to like be like, okay, well, I just need to put my faith in, and, you know, this is what the plan is, then this is what the plan is. And I feel as though, was there a specific conversation that you can, like, she's bringing up a big conversation she had, and it was like towards the end, like there was like the best conversation you could have had, and then it was like then things really went downhill, and then it was like you couldn't really have a deep conversation after that. And it was kind of more like on the serious side of things. And she talks about how okay, I'm gonna write that, but that's not what we're talking about right now. She was talking about conversation. It's something that like she's happy that she was able to talk about. So I don't know if it was just like a memory kind of conversation where you guys were just thinking back on like old times, or like talking about childhood kind of a thing. But she had some sort of conversation, and it kind of made her it was kind of like a good, it was kind of like the good thing out of a bad situation. But I feel as though for her in the beginning, she really didn't think that, you know, she was kind of in denial that she was passing. But then it was like towards the end, like everyone could even see it in her that she started to like kind of come to terms with what was happening. And I feel as though you guys didn't realize, you didn't know if that was either relief for you or if that was more sad for you to watch her go through.
It's horrible to watch her go through that. But yes, I do think that she's talking about, sorry,
You're okay.
our conversation of just me opening up more to her and her just being glad that even though it was something hard for me to talk about, that she was just happy that I was talking to her.
Yeah, because she just had me write down, I have conversation, happy to have it.
Yeah.
And then it's, she shows me, I don't know if when she talked, was she always all over the place?
Yes.
Because like we're having this conversation about this deep thing, and then she's like throwing random things in there. She showed me like a sewing machine.
Yes.
So she literally like
Industrial size sewing machine, like it is.
oh, she showed me like it has the needle. It's like that one big shape, like it was just like the full-on sewing machine, and that has never come up in a reading for me. So when I saw it, I was like, okay, I'll write it down. If you watch on my YT page, you'll see in the middle of the conversation, I was like, all right, I'll write it down, but we're not talking about that right now.
Maybe because I just texted my aunt this week that I'm actually interested in sewing when my granny's tried to teach me my entire life. And
Listen, they bring things up because they want you to know that they can hear your conversations. She's probably telling you to go ahead because it's probably what she would tell you here. She would probably be so happy and giddy that you wanted to get into sewing.
Yeah.
And I feel as though that goes on the connection side of you guys as well. Because it seems like, you know, just like any grandmother, they love connecting with us. They love to like get to our level. It's like, again, I just told someone recently, I don't remember if it was in my live or a private reading. Again, guys, I completely like kind of black out when I do these things, so I can't recall certain information, but I do remember talking about how like they live through their grandchildren, and it's kind of like reliving them having children. So like them through you, they get the fun stuff with their grandchildren. And, you know, she says how she like really enjoyed time with you guys. But I feel as though she was a hard woman sometimes. Mm-hmm. It seems like she had really high standards for people.
High. And if you ticked her off, you were cut off.
Yeah, it just seems like she was very stubborn-headed in that way. I really do think not only was she image-wise with like her physical looks, I feel as though the family image was very important to her. And I feel as though she struggled with that with her children as well, and then branched that off to her grandchildren too. And I feel as though it didn't even stop there. It seemed like even her self-image with the friends she kept around her, her image with her spouse, all of those things, like she was very controlling in that sense, and things had to be a specific way. I think it also tied into her home too. Like she had big, high expectations for everyone. And I feel as though, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel as though people around her kind of would seek her approval, to where like they would like, it's kind of like she showed me someone would bring home like, I got an A+, and it was like they would shove it in her face because they knew having that kind of high standard with her, they would finally get praise and the love and the affection that she would give them, because they kind of, I guess, proved to themselves, or they to make them, you know, she was proud of them, and like that was a way to like gain her love. And she apologizes for this because she's talking about how like she realizes like in the end we all leave this world in the same way. Mm-hmm. Maybe different ways medically speaking, but we all go the same way. And you know, they get like a bigger picture of things when they pass, and she realizes like that's not what life's about. And that again, she realizes that she actually installed fear in people because it was the fear of rejection. And it was like she doesn't like the fact that people were walking on eggshells around her. And it feels as though she wishes people were more vocal about that, because I think people were fearful to be vocal about this. I don't know if that has ties to your conversation you had with her, but she's even talking about like, I think in a sense of like her children. They were scared, like she wasn't one to come to things, especially if they had made a mistake. They would kind of hide things from her. Or if you had a thought that she wouldn't approve, you wouldn't even try to bring things up to her because of the fear of rejection, or the fear of just in general being reprimanded for it. And I feel as though she's talking about how it has a lot to do with her childhood. So I don't know how much you know about her childhood, but I feel as though her childhood was pretty strict side too. Um,
She
but
grew
she's
up,
apologizing.
so yes. And she was never like that towards me, but to her kids, my mom and my aunt, she was very hard on.
Yeah, she's um yeah, I feel as though even like punishment wise, she was very strict in that sense. Um she's also talking about, was she like pretty like kind of getting like losing weight towards the end, and becoming like frail?
Yes.
Because she's kind of showing me like the dainty, like she's like, I would have popped a hip bone if I would have fell, kind of a thing. um I feel, was she kind of rebellious in a way when people tried to tell her she couldn't do things?
Oh, absolutely. She
Because she's talking,
told everybody what to do, but nobody tell her what to do.
she's telling me, I don't know if it was a specific incident, but like she's talking about like, because I was in the medical field, so she was like, when you're telling me to stay in bed, I'm going to do everything not to stay in bed because you can't tell me what to do.
Yes.
And it's funny because she had such respect for people like that, though. She had such respect for the medical world, but she was the worst patient sometimes. But I feel as though it's because she, again, it's kind of almost like her reality was different than like her mindset. And I feel she's kind of talking about how like she saw herself as like this young, strong, nothing wrong with her kind of a woman, but her body didn't match it at all. It was like she was just like always like, no, I can go and do that. And they're like, no, like you've already fallen like 6 times. We're not letting you go. And I can go to the bathroom by myself. But I feel a lot of that has to do with her being kind of proper in a sense, to where it was like it was just kind of hard for people to do that for her. She had very strong independence. I feel like this also ties into her spouse as well. I feel as though she was kind of a hard woman to love in that sense. She kind of was like, she would bark orders.
Yes.
But she was so loving, though, in a sense to where she really cared for people, though. She would be the kind of person that, like, you would come over and it would be like, I'm going to cook you food. What do you need? Are you warm? I'll give you a blankie. I'll give you this. Like, I'll even send you home with stuff. Like, I feel as though she was so loving, and I just feel like she put so many high expectations on herself, and that kind of pushed into other things. Like, it was like she like had such a high expectation of being a mother, of being a wife, of being a citizen, like, you know, just a upstanding citizen, but then also being a grandmother. And it was like that pressure she put on herself kind of sometimes, you know, went outwards. But she was such a loving person, though. She wanted nothing but the best, and she wanted her family to be so close-knit. She may have not gone about it the right way sometimes, but I feel as though the more you understood her, the more you had love for her.
Absolutely.
And
Sorry.
no, you're good. Yeah, so she's talking about flowers. So I know I mentioned earlier, I feel like she did some type of gardening. But she's talking about how she was like really into flowers. And really thought that like that was like one way to really make your house like beautiful. And I feel as though I feel like it was a variety of different flowers too. Now, I don't know flowers specifically. I always tell myself I'm going to learn them because flowers do often come up for people. But she's kind of like saying, like, oh, don't even bother. It was all kinds of flowers. And I feel as though she was just like a colorful person in that sense. And I feel as though like that was like her creative side, was doing things, and she loved doing things with her hands. It was just like doing things with her hands, just like she would kind of do things with love, and it was like a way of her expressing herself. Um did she also talk about plans? Like, was she I don't know if she was very specific, but talk about plans of like her own funeral kind of a thing, and like what she wanted?
She did not want a funeral.
Yeah, because she's talking about before you continue, let me see what she's trying to see here. I feel as though she didn't like she didn't really like when attention was on her, in a sense. I feel as though she also, like, the sassiness in her was just like, she didn't want fake people to be around her or like care for her. She kind of just wanted something like small, intimate, just her family. Because I feel as though she just kind of was, again, she was a person where it was like, it's all BS. Like, she just hated, like, I don't know, she's talking about like people who like pretend to be involved in your life or pretend to care, and then they actually don't. So I don't know if that stemmed towards her wanting that new funeral, but you can go ahead and continue. I won't keep cutting you off. I'm sorry.
Yeah, she just did not want a funeral. She thought that it was expensive for no reason when she wanted cremated.
Yeah, and she's talking about, most often people do, but she is talking about her belongings, specifically jewelry. She's also talking about, I believe she's really trying to tie into like a ring of some sorts, or rings, plural. And she is, I don't know if this was talked about or it's in the works or something, but she kind of talks about how since she was such like a family oriented person, I don't know if there's some type of jewelry that she wants to like keep passing down. Does this make sense for you?
I have her wedding set, but I was also supposed to get a ruby ring that I still have not gotten.
But it was supposed to be passed down to you. That's what she's talking about. There's a lot of tension around this.
I know, and I don't want there to be.
I feel as though it's tension, but it's awkwardness. I think that it's, correct me if I'm wrong, I could be wrong, but she's kind of talking about how it's kind of like things are left unsaid. Because she's talking about, she's like, if I was here, I wouldn't be tolerating this. Like, but I feel as though maybe some things were directed to you, as in the ring, but someone has, and I don't even think you have even spoken about how you were supposed to have. And it's kind of like where that awkwardness I was talking about is coming from. I feel as though she wants to tell you that no matter what, protect your peace, but don't feel guilty that you don't have something that was meant for you. It's almost as if, just because you don't have something doesn't mean that, you didn't follow, what she wanted, or that she's not with you. Clearly, you have her wedding set, you have, things of hers, but it's kind of along the lines of like, don't try and protect your peace. Don't sit there and try to cause yourself more anxiety or issues. And in your heart you should have something, but it's not the only thing you can have for her to still be with you.
Right.
She's with you no matter what. But I feel as though she's also talking about this person should know. And I think they're being like kind of like ditzy about it, like, oh, I didn't know.
I have not made a fuss about it at all. But
they know.
Within the last few days before her passing, they know. Yes. They were told specifically, and that's okay. I'm not going to make a fuss about it.
No. It for her, it feels like it would be more of a headache, and it would be more toxic stuff in your life that you don't need. And I feel as though this was like an eye-opener for you too. And I think she was a firm believer in signs. And I think you also have this feeling with things as well. And it's more about like, they're going to cross you, fine. So be it. I mean, it means more, it kind of shows them and who they are versus you, because she's kind of saying like, if someone has to have an object from her to feel close to her, and like an object is so important, then were they really close with you in the first place? Like for you, it shouldn't matter what you have of someone's, because you should know that they're going to be there with you anyway. They're in your heart, they're around you, they're your guardian angels. Like you don't need an object to be close with them. And if they're going to harbor that, then that just goes to show that they're clinging on to her more because maybe they don't have that close connection, or maybe again, they're just being stubborn and it's more, materialistic for them versus you. I feel as though she's talking about like you're smarter. And I feel as though she knows this about you. I feel as though you're very good about she's talking about how like you kind of like the reality of things, and it's like you kind of are very straight to the point as well. And I feel as though you guys connected with that. I feel like you understood each other with that as well, even though you're a little more relaxed about it.
Yeah.
I think she says that, she wishes she was as relaxed as you are about it. However, you also know when to kind of, when you see reality and you see how things are versus, the fake crap. So, again, she says you don't need it. Do you hear my son?
Yeah, I got 2 boys. I get it.
It sounds like my husband is dragging him through the house, but they're probably just playing dinosaurs, to be honest. But no, she's an absolutely beautiful person, and she seems funny. Like it seems as though like she would even say things that would like make you laugh. I feel like she would say some out of pocket shit. Like, I don't know if I'm allowed to curse on here or not, but it really seems like she. And I don't even think she wouldn't even find it funny. She wouldn't even do it out of being funny. She would be straight dead serious, and people would laugh, and she'd be like, I don't know what you're laughing at. Like, she'd be so serious. Yeah, she just didn't give up. So I love that. I absolutely love that. And I would keep that around no matter what. But, she has so much love for you. And it's funny because she's like, I'm so much more chill on the other side. And I feel like she needed to be chill. I feel like there was times to where like she really needed to just take a chill pill. Like she was so like again, she was so controlling of everything. She even says like she almost didn't really get to like enjoy life because she was so adamant about certain things happening. And she's like, what was I doing? What was I thinking? But she's talking about how a lot of it had to do with her childhood, and she wishes that she I think she tried so hard not to have the same childhood.
Yes.
From her childhood to her kids, that she instead then created this version of control and craziness, but a lot of love though, so much love. And everyone here, when we talk about loved ones, a lot of times they'll bring up negative things because, again, one of the main goals for spirits on the other side, in order for them to reach peace, they have to relive and, you know, talk to people about, to start the healing process, to start any type of, you know, forgiveness and say their apologies, because they didn't say that when they were here on earth. So even though you think Rita might be like hearing a lot of negatives, it's because it's the things that you wouldn't really say here on earth, and it's the things that they got to see when they passed with the bigger picture, and they got to see the things in, you know, reality's eyes. You know, we're all one-sided when we're here on earth, and then when we pass on, we get to see everyone's point of views and all those kinds of things. So she was a beautiful person inside and out, but she owns up to all of her faults. And I feel as though she talks about like breaking the cycles, and I feel as though she talks about you with your children as well. And I believe that's what the 2 is. Do you have 2 children?
Yes.
Okay. And she talks about does one give you absolute mayhem?
Yes.
One is feral.
Feral.
I feel as though she kind of talks about how like she loves him.
Yeah.
She absolutely loves how feral he is. She's like, that's fun.
He gave it back to her. He did not let her control him.
Yeah, she says he's fun. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, he's gonna give you a run for your money. I feel as though your children are kind of yin and yang. I feel as though your other child is very calm.
Yes.
But she talks about your patience. You were so calm and patient with them. She said, she would not be for this gentle parenting BS, though.
I think it's more pick my battles or else I'd be with you all day, every day.
But she's talking about how she would totally like granny boot camp kind of a thing. But I don't know. It kind of says like she's like sign it, be firm with them now and then reward them with like a cookie later. Like I don't know if that's like be stern but still give gifts. Like still, I don't know. She's funny though. But it feels though he's going to be super smart if you don't know this already though.
Yes.
Very smart. And she's showing me books too, so he's going to be like book smart. I feel like she's talking about how he's going to be like you. I feel like you also had like some education with you. But I think you're smarter than you think you are. But I feel as though God, what I don't know what she's trying to point towards here though.
So he failed first grade and is repeating first grade. And we have since got him diagnosed and medicated with the ADHD medicine. And this year he has topped number 88 in the nation for his math.
Well, most kids in the very beginning of early childhood who are extra like gifted smart don't do well in the very beginning because they're so far in advance. They don't have the mental capacity to sit in a classroom and do small things. So he's like smart.
Yes.
Yeah, she's talking about he's definitely smart. She's super proud of the mom you are though. She is so proud of the mom you are. And I feel as though you question how you are as a mom. And
wasn't everybody?
yeah, but she says like, I feel as though it's because you are trying to be so different as a parent than what you're used to and what you've been surrounded with. And so you don't know if that's the right direction to go into. And she's saying, no, you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Again, you're breaking cycles, and she says that you know exactly what you're doing, and she's super proud of you, and it's going to be well worth it in the end. And she talks about how like you're so strong and you put on such a strong face, and she said that you need to start doing things for you as well, and you need to stop trying to micromanage your stuff, but enjoy it while you can, and don't second guess yourself, because again, she kind of says like we're all technically supposed to be born to be parents because biological, right? However, she's talking about how in general, like you second guess yourself because you don't know the direction you're going in, and like it's a new generation for you because you have society telling you all the different ways you could be a parent. And she's like, we didn't have that back then. But she's saying how like the more you enjoy things, the easier it's going to be, because then you're going to start letting go. And you're going to realize that no matter what happens, no matter who they end up being, as long as they are good people, that's all that matters. And she says that you are already a good person, so you're going to make them into good people. And just because you already care about what kind of a mom you are, that just goes to show that you care enough to be a good mom. Because people who are bad parents, they wouldn't even care about what kind of a parent they were being. And because you constantly are second guessing and questioning yourself, just goes to show how much you really care about being a mom. And again, she said you need to start doing a little things for you too. She said you need to start doing some type of self-care, and enjoy yourself a little more. She's also talking about do you like even like try to research being a parent? Because she's talking about like don't go off of what other people's parenting tips are. Don't go off of other parenting skills. Like, do your own thing. And I feel as though this is the kind of thing she would do when she was here, is talk about parenting and your styles and stuff. And I feel as though your styles definitely don't mix. You're definitely not doing what she would do.
I mean, I don't like Google research it, but I do ask the people around me, like, what would you do in this situation?
Yeah, she's talking about don't second guess it. And again, she wants to tell you how, no matter how feral your son is, that has everything to do with, him being, the person that he is. He's smart. He's outgoing. He's got a lot on his mind. He's acting on everything that he has. And she even says, like, even in a public setting, like, no matter how embarrassing it could feel or like overwhelming it can feel, she's like, in the end, it's all going to make sense. She's like, in the end, it's all going to make sense. You're going to laugh about it with him. He's grounded till he's 20, she says. So,
That's right.
But you're definitely getting a run for your money. But it is already 8 o'clock, but I am going to leave her love and light with you. If I don't remember, definitely message me and I will make sure I say. She had so much to say. You have 2 pages. I usually get one-sided page. You got 2 pages.
I knew it.
She had a lot to say. But again, it was kind of like she was pressuring me. She's like, write this down, do this. You got to say this too. You got to say this. And it was like all over the place, but she was definitely a funny woman.
Very bossy. Very bossy.
With love though, with love. She was definitely loving. But I am going to leave her love and light with you. Thank you so much for being vulnerable and allowing me to read in front of all these people.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Again, it'll be on the YT page too if you ever need to recall any of it as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good night.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
I don't know how to leave.
I never know either. Oh, wait, I have it.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Oh, it worked. Okay, cool. I'm kind of getting the hang of things, even though Nicole kind of has to help me. How do you get a reading? So I am not going to be doing any more readings on live tonight. If you do want a reading though, you can always send me a direct message on here, or you can always send me an email. My email is the same as my TikTok handle, Spirits with Sky with 2 Y's. The same thing for my YT page. It has all of my live uploads of my videos. My email is Gmail. So again, I have to watch what I say because they say if you bring up other platforms on live, you can get banned. But anyone have any more questions before I kind of log off for the night and save my husband? You're welcome, Megan. And if you come up with any questions too, you can always send me a message as well. That goes for anyone who's ever received a reading from me. I don't turn you down just because your reading's over. So definitely, however, if you guys want, again, I just finally made that 2-part video of kind of how I got into mediumship because so many people were asking me about that. I do put random videos on my TikTok. You can show them some love. Again, it's hard trying to get into the social media world when you've never been a social media person. So I try my best. But I am so grateful for everyone who sent me likes and follows and who are still watching. So thank you guys so much. And I hope you all have a great rest of your night. Thank you, Alyssa. Thank you, Bridget. Thank you for the follows, guys. Yeah, send me a message, Mama Io, OH Mama Io. It's so funny when I try to talk to you guys with your TikTok names, your little handles. Yeah, hi guys. Okay. Oh, thanks so much, Sally. Yeah, if you watch my video, I didn't want to do this. I pushed it away for a long time. I had a lot of fear with it. I was afraid I was going to bring like negative things into my home. So I pushed it off, but you can watch out my video. I talk about it on TikTok because again, it's a really long story. So I didn't want to keep repeating it every single time I went on TikTok live. Oh, no, you're okay. I just kind of said, I don't even remember what I said. I said, oh, just message me if you want a reading because you had asked how to get a reading. Just go ahead and message me or send me an email. But all right, guys, that is it for the night. I hope you guys all have a great rest of your weekend. I hope you have a good Valentine's. I do have a couple of private readings this weekend, so I will not be on live. However, I should be on live on Monday. So when I say should, it's just because it's not guaranteed because mom life. So I hope you guys